This is a story from the book of Joshua, a story that shows us faith in action and God's faithfulness at work. Join us as we walk through the story of the walls of Jericho, a reminder that when we let God lead, we can overcome even the greatest obstacles in life.
After the death of Moses, the Lord chose Joshua, son of Nun, to lead the Israelites. They were finally standing at the edge of the Promised Land, the land God had promised to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Before them stood the mighty city of Jericho, its walls strong and its gates tightly shut. But God had already planned their victory. Lord spoke directly to Joshua. "My servant Moses is dead. Now arise. Lead my people across the Jordan to the land I am giving them. As I was with Moses, so shall I be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you." God told Joshua to be strong, courageous, and not to be afraid. God commanded Joshua to meditate on the book of the law day and night, and to obey everything written in it. Joshua then called the officers of the people. "Go through the camp. Tell everyone to prepare food. In 3 days, we cross the Jordan to take the land the Lord has given us." The people answered Joshua, "Whatever you command, we will do. Wherever you send us, we will go." Joshua sent 2 men secretly to spy out Jericho. They entered the city and found lodging in the house of Rahab, a woman whose home was built into the city wall. The king of Jericho heard that strangers had come to spy on the land. He sent soldiers to Rahab's house, demanding she bring the men out. Rahab quickly took the spies to her rooftop and hid them under bundles of flax. When the soldiers arrived, she said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. They left at dusk, just before the gate was shut. If you hurry, you may catch them." The soldiers rushed out of the city to chase them, and the gates were shut. Then Rahab went back to the spies and said, "I know that the Lord has given you this land. We have heard how he dried up the Red Sea for you. We know how you defeated Sihon and Og. All our hearts are melting with fear because of you. Your God is God in heaven and on earth." Rahab begged them to spare her family in the coming battle. The spies replied, "Our lives for your lives. But you must not tell anyone that we were here. If you keep our mission secret, we will show you kindness. Tie this scarlet cord in your window. On the day the Lord gives us this city, everyone inside this house, your father, your mother, your brothers, and all your family, will be spared. But if anyone leaves your house, we are not responsible." Rahab agreed and tied the scarlet rope immediately. She lowered the men down the outer wall, and they escaped into the hills until the soldiers returned empty-handed. The spies went back to Joshua. "Truly, the Lord has given this entire land into our hands." Early the next morning, Joshua and all Israel rose and moved near the Jordan River. The Jordan was overflowing because it was harvest season. The waters were deep, fast, and impossible to cross. Joshua said to the people, "Sanctify yourselves. Tomorrow, the Lord will do wonders among you." The priests carried the Ark of the Covenant ahead of the people. Joshua spoke again. "Come and listen. Today you will know that the living God is among you. He will surely drive out the nations before you." God told Joshua, "Tell the priests to step into the Jordan." As soon as the priests' feet touched the water, the entire river stopped flowing upstream. The water piled up far away in the city of Adam. The riverbed became dry. The priests stood in the middle of the river, holding the ark, while all the people crossed safely to the other side. After everyone crossed, the Lord told Joshua, "Choose 12 men, 1 from each tribe. Tell them to take 12 stones from the riverbed and carry them to your camp." Joshua said, "When your children ask, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them the Lord dried up the Jordan River so we could cross. These stones will remind future generations that God is powerful." When they stepped onto the bank, the Jordan River returned to its normal flow. Israel camped at a place called Gilgal. At Gilgal, the Lord told Joshua to circumcise the new generation. All the men who left Egypt had died in the wilderness, and the young ones had not been circumcised along the way. After the circumcision, they rested until they healed. Then Israel celebrated the Passover for the first time in the Promised Land. One day, Near Jericho, Joshua lifted his eyes and saw a man standing with a drawn sword. Joshua approached him boldly. "Are you for us, or for our enemies?" The man replied, "Neither. I have come as the commander of the Lord's army." Joshua fell on his face and asked, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" The commander said, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy." Jericho was a strong, fortified city. Its walls were tall, its gates tightly shut, and no one dared enter or leave. The people of Israel stood before it, their hearts full of faith in the Lord, knowing that God had promised them victory. The Lord spoke to Joshua and said, "I have given Jericho into your hands. Here is what you must do. For 6 days, march around the city once each day with all the armed men. The priests shall carry the Ark of the Covenant before the people and blow the trumpets, but the people must remain completely silent. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times. When you hear a long blast from the trumpets, the people shall shout with a great shout. Then the walls of the city will fall flat before you." Joshua obeyed the Lord's instructions. From day 1 to day 6, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant and the armed men marched once around the city each day. The people followed silently behind them. The priests blew the trumpets as they circled Jericho. Though the city's people mocked them, the Israelites continued to obey faithfully, trusting in God's plan. Early on the 7th day, Israel rose and marched around Jericho 7 times. The priests blew their trumpets with a long, powerful blast, and Joshua commanded the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." The Israelites let out a mighty shout that echoed through the valley. The walls of Jericho collapsed. Massive, ancient walls fell flat to the ground, opening a clear path straight into the city. Israel rushed forward without hesitation and captured Jericho. They obeyed God's command fully. Every man, woman, child, and animal within the city was destroyed. The city itself was set on fire, and everything within it burned completely. Nothing was left that could stand against the Lord's will. Joshua remembered Rahab, who had hidden the spies. He sent for her and her entire family, and everyone who belonged to her were safely brought out and spared, as the spies had promised. She and her household were welcomed among the people of Israel. After the victory, Joshua declared a solemn curse over Jericho. And so, the Lord delivered Jericho into the hands of Israel, showing that obedience, faith, and courage lead to triumph. The story of Jericho became a lasting testament to God's power and faithfulness.
The end.